A fraudulent intent, however carefully conceived at the outset, will generally in the end betray itself. Boju banking in Nigeria. The CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, 2 days after its 294th Monetary Policy Committee, that's MPC meeting, increased the capital base of commercial banks in Nigeria from a 25 billion naira flat rate to between 500 billion to 10 billion, depending on the license. So we are improving. Banks with international authorization will now increase their capital base to 500 billion, while that of National Bank is pegged at 200 billion, as those with regional authorization are expected to achieve a 50 billion capital floor, as also non-interest bank with national and regional authorization will need to increase their capital base to 20 and 10 billion respectively. The CBN also went further to warn commercial banks against warehousing illicit funds and also ensure that laundered money are not used for the recapitalization of these banks. So now there be the cocoa of the matter: laundered money, illicit fund. How some banks recapitalized in the last recapitalization exercise is still a subject of study in most universities abroad. But you know, so yeah, we know they study anything. Behind every allegation of corruption and money laundering against a politician in Nigeria, there is a bank that is a conveyor belt of the cash. How many of them will they investigate? Same way, behind every allegation of forex round tripping and market manipulation and distortion in Nigeria, there is a bank that is at the forefront. How many of these banks government don't prosecute? Well, government is chasing Binance, we are happy. But we also need to torchlight our banks, because the cocoa, they enter there, they move out. There's also a notorious fact that one of the many ways banks declare huge profit in Nigeria, according to Boju and some other people, is through forex round tripping. They collect money from central bank at official rate and then cook up books of supposed buyers and sell at exorbitant rate to Abuki and black market traders. Why those that genuinely need the forex never get it? Even though the bank, you give them forex, that bank, you enter the bank, you see money. But yet, forex full Abuki hand. How Abuki till they get forex? A question when nobody they ask. This is one of the countries in Africa where, despite our improvement in banking sectors, someone can just buy $1 million from the street without traces. In fact, Ghana must go there till they carry money here. Also, one of the problems of our banks here is, apart from all these SS dollars and the rest, is also another excuses and indiscriminate charges ranging from virtually every deposit to electronic money transfer levies, VAT on electronic money transfer, maintenance fee, SMS charges, VAT, COT, stamp duties, and even confirmation of signature. And a lot of people are complaining, including Association of Business Owners. I was also complaining that, bank fraudulently move money from customers' dormant account to, personal account. Well, internal control of the banks can deal with that one. Another problem is the mad rush for deposited funds by banks. And at the end of the day, the unavailability of these funds when it is needed by some of the people. And it is one of the problems that the regulators also need to look at and address. Look at the unnecessary litigation between Nosim Motors and GTB Bank, and the one between Kosin, headed by Tony Okoroji, against the Access Bank over depositors' funds. Why some genuine depositors are chasing their funds, there are so many cases also of donations, uncollateralized loan, on self-recognition to friends and associates of directors and even their churches. And in some cases, at the end of the day, these donations and money go enter voicemail as bad debt. Anyway, I'm container and they chase those things. Just the same way we hear say somebody donated 1 billion to a church and even gave them a loan of 1 billion. They say, oh, but they don't even feel postpone party after in death. Nigeria we hear There was a case of an uncollateralized loan of 1.2 billion involving a big church in Nigeria whose pastors talk like Benny Hinn, with Zenith Bank in the middle. At the end of the day, the branch manager was sacrificed and everybody moved on. Recently, also, it was alleged that UBA made a whopping $65 million from the $3.2 billion loan collected by Nigeria from Afrexim Bank with a 12% interest rate, when the government could have engaged the commodity traders in a forward sale agreement. So when Nigerian banks, they declare profits and their investors are happy, there's usually more to it than meets the eyes. So we are all involved in this paddy arrangement and boju. Because the recent death of the former chairman of Access Bank, Herbert Wigwe, with it attended many stories on social media, once again brought to the fore the boju arrangement that characterize our banking sectors in Nigeria. And until we are ready to have a conversation around our banking system, we'll continue to chase the can down the street. So I will therefore advocate that while the bank recapitalization is a welcome development, the CBN needs to be more aggressive and be ready to use its hammer on any bank that is found to be warehousing illicit fund or using laundered money for recapitalization exercise, because some people have been accusing of doing that. The CBN also needs to look into these indiscriminate levies and deductions by banks, apart from telling customers to just report such deduction to the CBN. Lastly, more stringent measures need to be put in place to ensure that the detail of every person buying forex in Nigeria is captured and properly documented. And in most cases, the money paid should be transferred into an account or a bank card, as it is done in other countries like, Forex Bureau de Change. That way, funds are easily traced and identity of owners known, so that we don't have to begin to speculate who bought what and who didn't buy. Well, let me pause here now. Until next week, let us know what you think by sharing your thoughts on all our social media platforms shown on your screen. For banks are to the economy what the heart is to the human body. And good banking is produced not by good laws alone, but by good bankers. See you next week.